Hi everybody, thank you for taking the time to watch this video. I am at Gg&D Motor Vehicle Services. I am on Cave Creek and Bell Road in North Phoenix, Arizona. Right now in front of us you can see someone standing with a clipboard and someone taking an extra jumbo size SUV through the three-point turn. So I have a video about how to pass your three-point turn and how to do parallel parking at this DMV here. And after this, what we're going to do is I'm going to show you the road test that they go on. So I'm just watching this person take the test, and I'm kind of amazed that they can do it with such a huge vehicle. That's pretty awesome. That's a good sign for them. So if you don't feel like you know how to do a three-point turn, don't try to do your test. Make sure that you can do this before you even go to the place and stand in line or set up an appointment. Make sure you have good control of your vehicle at low speeds. If you have to, go to an empty parking lot and just practice backing in a bunch of times until you get it down. Looks like that person did it. They passed. The person from the DMV is getting into the car with their clipboard. They're going to be explaining all the rules and all the procedure for the test. So what we're going to do is take off, and I'll show you the route they go on. So after you do that three-point turn, you are going to come down this little tiny driveway bordered by some yellow curbs over here. This driveway is really narrow, so make sure you come out wide, and you only want to occupy the right side of this driveway. I'm going to have my right signal on. I'm going to stop back before the little sloped part of the driveway, and I can see there's a truck coming on my left, so I have to wait. Yield to the traffic on the main road. And it's important that when you turn out of here that you don't go boom off the curb. Make sure you come out wide, don't cut it tight and ramp off the curb. That's actually an automatic fail. So now what we got to do is we got to make a left turn on Hartford Street, which is the first turn that comes up down this road. This one has a posted sign at 25, so just keep your speed down. You don't have a stop sign on this road. The other street, the cross street, does. So just hit your left signal. When you're doing a left turn, especially in a neighborhood, you take it wide. You don't cut it tight onto the wrong side of the road. Just wait an extra second to turn, and then you'll be all the way over on the right. That way you don't lose any points on that turn. If you cut that turn too tight, you can lose different amounts of points based on how tight or how inappropriate it was, or if there was traffic or not. So now we're going to come to a T intersection. This happens to be sort of a dead end from my road. This is also an uncontrolled intersection, which means it doesn't have a yield sign, it doesn't have a stop sign, it doesn't have any signs. So what I'm going to do is assume that I kind of have a stop sign because I have a dead end. So I have to give way to the other traffic on the left and the right. And again, this is all just 25 right here. This test is actually pretty simple. It's only like 5 minutes, just like every road test in Arizona. Super easy. Just don't speed and don't run any stop signs. So I'm just going to go up to 20 or 25, depending on the traffic or if there's pedestrians around. You choose what speed. Just don't go over 25. There are 2 speed bumps on this road. They're actually the nice kind of speed bumps. They're speed cushions, so you can do 20, 15, whatever you want over these. They're not the really harsh speed bumps that are in parking lots. Just don't hit them too fast because you can lose points for that. So I'm going to just do like 15 over this speed bump. Feels nicer in my car. Every car is a little different. So we're going up to a stop sign at the end of this road called Grover's, and we're going to make a right turn. This test is pretty easy. It's really hard to fail this test unless you do things that are very dangerous, like running stop signs or speeding or tailgating people, which is actually really hard to do at this speed anyways. So I see a stop sign. Arizona law says if there's lines on the ground, like a crosswalk or a single white line, you have to stop before that. This road has no stop lines at all. It has no lines on the ground, no path. So I'm going to stop a little further up so I can see better. There is one pickup truck coming on the left side I have to yield to. Got to give way to that traffic, and then I'm allowed to make my turn. Turn without touching the bike lane line and without touching the yellow line. Just try to turn it without touching the lines. And now I'm just going up here to go straight through this light. And depending on when you get here, this can be a really long light. But whatever, you have lots of time on your test. It's not like you're going to run out of time. So what I'm going to point out here is that this lane becomes very wide once it gets to the light. Actually, it's wide enough for 2 cars to fit through here side by side easily. And there's also 2 sets of sensors on the ground. There's these magnetic sensors under the ground where the stoplights, how they know if cars are waiting. I'm just going to kind of tuck over to the left a little bit. I'm not going to go over the white line on the left. I'm just going to move to the left a little bit. That way, if other traffic wants to go around and make right turns on the right, I'm not blocking traffic. Now, is it legal for 2 cars to be side by side in the same lane? No, but it doesn't hurt anything, and it keeps traffic moving, and it's considerate, so I'm just getting out of the way. If you're at this light, you can take a look to the left and you can see the crosswalk timer, and you can see the other light for the other traffic on Cave Creek Road. You just have to be careful. This is a busy road. People love speeding on this road. There's lots of action on this road when it comes to car accidents. I see a lot over here. So when this light turns green, doesn't mean you just book it without looking. You have to look left and look right. Make sure the other traffic's actually stopping. That's a good thing to do all the time when you're driving, so you don't get hit by a red light runner and end up in a wheelchair or get crippled or anything or paralyzed. So again, like I said, this is a long light. I'm going to go ahead and pause and then just resume once this light turns green. Okay, my green light's coming up. I'm looking to my left. I'm looking to my right. I can see the traffic is all slowing down and they're stopping, so I'm not in danger of getting hit here. So now I'm on another 25-mile-per-hour road, and it's a residential area, and this is a school zone coming up. So normally on your test, you're allowed to go 3 or 4 over, and they don't mark points off. If you accidentally go 28, I don't know why you would do that, but if you accidentally go like 27 or 28, you don't lose any points. But if you hit 30, if you hit 5 over, that's where you lose 10 points. And if you go over 10 over, that's an automatic fail. There's also an automatic fail if you do 1 over in a school crosswalk. So the reason why the state makes these bright neon yellow signs that are different than every other color of yellow on the road is so you'll notice it. It says school zone ahead on the right, which means there might be an area where they have these metal signs that they roll out into the road during school hours, and they have sometimes a crossing guard out there. But this one says 15, and it says no passing, and it says fines double, which means if I get a ticket here, the state is going to double it. So when you get to this area, you have to be going less than 15 by the time you get into this little area, and then you just coast through it. So we're going to actually make a right turn at the crosswalk. As long as there's no one in the crosswalk, you don't have to stop. If someone's in the crosswalk or waiting to cross, then you stop and let them go in front of you. And now I'm just going to make my right turn, again without touching the bike lane lines or any other lines. And this road doesn't have a posted speed, so this one will have a default of 25, just like every road in Arizona that doesn't have a posted speed limit. And there's a yellow speed advisory. Now these yellow signs that are at turns are not the law. You don't have to go 15 here, but you don't want to go more than 15 around here. That's just telling you that this is a sharp turn and you want to slow down. And there's another school crosswalk coming up as soon as we finish this turn. So I'm just going nice and slow, about 10 or 15. And there's the other school crosswalk. So there's 2 sets of signs. There's the ones facing you that says no passing 15, and then the one in the crosswalk, and there's a backwards one down there. Now I'm going like 12, just cruising nice, just barely chugging along. You don't have to keep going 15 until the backwards sign. You just have to go 15 until the crosswalk. Then after you pass the crosswalk, you can go back to 25. The backwards sign is for the opposite side of the road. So we're going to make our first right here after the school into this neighborhood. 25th place, nice and slow, making sure there's no traffic to yield to or pedestrians. Then we're going to take this all the way down to the stop sign at the end. Again, this one has no posted speed sign, so it defaults to 25, just like every road in Arizona. It doesn't have a sign. And now this stop sign does have lines on the ground. It's got crosswalk, so you got to stop before the crosswalk. You can lose points if you plow it in that crosswalk. Now, you can't see anything from here. If you look on the left when you do this, there's a huge juniper bush that blocks your view real bad. So I'm just getting my nose up there. I'm not going out into the street, into where other cars are driving, but I'm getting my nose up against that. There's a bike lane that you can kind of use for a little bit of visibility. Just be patient, take your time. Make sure that when you turn, that you wait and you're not pulling right out in front of traffic. Make sure that you're really clear. And then we're going to come up to this light here, and we're going to make a left. Now this left turn light right here, it doesn't have any arrows or anything. This is just 3 lights, so it's just going to be red, yellow, or green. If you're turning left on a green light, hopefully you already know this before you're taking your road test, but if you're turning left on a green light, you have to yield to the other traffic that's going through. So the red car is going to make a left turn, I'm assuming, and the white car, they're not indicating that they're turning, so I'm just going to assume that they're going straight. And as our light turns green, it's optional. You are allowed to move out in the middle. I would recommend doing that here, but just remember, if you move out in the middle, you have to watch that signal in front of you, because if it turns yellow and you're still out here, you have to finish your turn to get out of the intersection. So there's a big gap after this red car. I'm going to go through. You are only allowed to turn into the closest lane. You're not allowed to swing out wide into the right lane. That'll take points off. Now there's construction here, but as soon as the construction's over, I need to get back to the right side of the road because I'm making a right turn. And the person at the DMV might have you turn into the parking lot before the light, or they might have you turn right at the light. which is probably better because it's more experience for you, but I'm going to do a little right turn at this light on Bell and head back to the DMV, and that's the end. So like I said, it's only a few minutes long. Just don't speed. Make sure you make complete stops and yield the right of way. It's really hard to fail this test. Just especially watch out for that school zone. Do not speed in the school zone. The test is over instantly if you go 1 over there. So what I'm doing is I have my signal on early, checking over my blind spot to get into this right lane, and then I got to check for pedestrians. There's often people walking in this crosswalk up here, so I'm just going to get nice and slow. If you come here and this light's red, you are allowed to make right turns on red as long as you make complete stops before any lines on the ground, and then you can move up into the crosswalk if it's not occupied to see if you're allowed to get out there. You want to look to your left for traffic. You want to look across the street to see if any traffic has a green arrow, and you also want to look to your right at the crosswalk to make sure it's clear, and then you're allowed to do a right on red. Or you don't have to turn right on red. That's optional. You're not required to make right turns on red ever. If you wanted to sit there and wait for it to turn green, that's totally fine. So thank you for watching. I also have a video about how to drive without breaking any Arizona laws. If you look that up on my channel, do the stuff I do in that video, you can pass a road test anywhere. But yeah, just remember, keep your speed down. Make sure you practice your parking. Make sure you practice that 3-point turn, that you have it 100% before you attempt to do it. And best of luck on your test. Thank you for watching.